Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today in episode 10 of Bushcraft Wonderland. Now it's been about 5 months since I've been out to Bushcraft Wonderland, working my way in. It's really awesome to be coming back out here after so long. And you know, not that I didn't want to come out here, just kids' sports and family, summer vacations, all the things that really honestly take priority over coming out here and spending hours by myself in the woods at Bushcraft Wonderland. However, today I do have that opportunity. So hiking out here, I cannot wait to see how this is going to be. I hope everything has withstood the past 5 months. We had a bunch of storms, some pretty heavy duty, remnants of hurricanes and tropical storms and everything that the shelter had to make it through, and I'm just curious at this point to see how it stood up. Everything from obviously the structure, but through the tarps, the roof system, and just wondering if anybody's actually been out there and found it. So this should be pretty interesting. And so at this point, just working my way in. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. And man, I'm talking about the storms. Literally, look at how many trees are just down through this entire area. Some very substantial wind damage through here. Just all over the place. Some fresh cut logs. You can see some people trying to maintain the trails through here. But this has me just a little bit concerned. This should be interesting. Not that I want damage, but I'll address whatever it is. This will be definitely interesting to see. It's just crazy the amount of stuff that is down here. Just trees and debris everywhere. Look up here, literally massive trees down. This place got hammered on all summer. We had some very significant storms, and I can tell you, you can definitely see it. Look at this. Oh man. And it goes back to why I wanted to get rid of all the widow makers before I even got started literally building my shelter. If you go back to the very beginning, episode 2 and 3, just cleaning things up. This is the reason why. This stuff's big enough to kill you for sure. Never mind the fact that even if it just crushed your shelter, that would suck. So now I'm actually rolling into my actual campsite. This doesn't look terrible, but there is still a good amount of stuff down. Oh, this is gonna suck if there's any damage. But I was pretty careful about how I built this, and I'm hoping it's all gonna work out. So we're about to find out, but let's see. Hard to say if anybody's been through here. That's gonna be the other interesting sign. But let's hope for the best. Here we go. So, Bushcraft Wonderland, did it survive? Yeah, man. Wow, so far, so good. This looks good. And I don't think anybody's been here. I mean, look, my piles of stuff left right where I put it. I mean, nothing's touched, no fires, no trash, no damage. This looks good. Wow. Any signs of anything coming down out here? Yeah, over there. But not around me. Oh, lucky. Oh, sweet. Alright, so let's get into some detail here. So the structure definitely looks sound, no problem. Looks like all my tie-offs are holding the way they need, which is awesome. So the structure looking really good. What I was kind of most concerned about would be this range tarp here. But so far, this also looking very good. Now, of course, this is supporting some of the weight of these branches. I'll be curious to see once we start getting some snow load on here how that does. You can see some areas where it's definitely sagging. I may wish to reinforce this in a couple of strategic spots just for the ability really to preserve this for the long run. More than anything else, I mean, this is a great test for this tarp. You can see some areas where things have kind of been poking at this, but certainly not poking through, so that's a good sign. And the tie-outs look to be holding up pretty well. I'm curious about the ones on the top because that is where they were stressed. If you go back to my actual range tarp video, you'll notice these tie-outs were a little stressed in some spots, so I'm curious if there's any further damage, but yeah, so far so good. Now I am picking up on some things that are kind of funny, like these little piles of sawdust all over the place. It looks like there's been some creatures hard at work. You can see up here, I don't know if that's ants, which it probably is. It's my guess. That's like, I don't know if they call that like frass, but I bet you that's ants. Some big piles over here. So if I'm not careful, at some point my shelter will probably be completely eaten, but what are you gonna do? So yeah, you can see there, just these big piles of sawdust. Also over here. So something's been quite busy here at Bushcraft Wonderland without me, but oh, this is awesome. So, all right, well, that's a good sign. To my knowledge, nobody's been here other than maybe the animals. And yeah, nothing crushed my shelter, so today is starting very well. Just taking a quick minute to check out all the other gear that I had stashed here, and for the most part in pretty good shape. I had a backup of a range tarp here, so at some point if I build an add-on to the shelter, I already have this out here. Pots and pans, these look to be just fine, no problem, not even wet. Had a couple of shovels out here, which I may want to take out of here and dry these out. For the most part, a lot of aluminum, but there is some steel, so definitely want to check these out, but these look to be pretty good. My camp stove here, let's see, yeah, not bad, that looks fine. My fuel stool looks pretty good. A little bit of debris on there, but no problem. And the only thing that seems to have taken a blow, so my ground sheet, which this is nasty, so probably gonna lose that at some point. And unfortunately, this canvas, which I did bring this out here to have a bit of a sort of log carrier, and I don't know, That's just grody, which I could probably clean this up pretty easy. Doesn't look like there's any real damage. It's just stained and a little bit of mold and mildew and some bug juice. But yeah, other than that, at least the gear seems to be in pretty good shape, so I'll keep it out and dry it out for the day. Now the other thing that I was in the middle of is building my walls. Honestly, I don't see me getting these done before the snow falls. I mean, it's at this point turning the corner pretty much into December fairly soon. And well, with that, obviously, the snow may come, and if it does, I'm going to have a hard time working. I'm going to have a hard time trucking around the logs that I need to do this work, and obviously finding them on the ground. That is a concern, but at the same time, not a big deal. I mean, this is something I can just pick away at. I don't need to build it, at any particular rate. So what I thought I'd do today, actually, is make myself a bit of a gear rack. If I am going to come here through the winter, I want a place where I can just stage my gear, not just dump it on the bench, but a place where I can actually stash it. So I'm thinking of making a couple of tripods that I can basically put my pack on, or anything that I take out of my pack. I think that might be pretty cool. Alright, so I got 3 pieces that are actually in decent shape. A little bit rotten in spots, but at the same time good and sturdy, so no problem. And well, I didn't want to cut anything that was alive, so this is what it is. But you can see here I took one of the pieces, standing it up just to get a reference for the height. Now obviously I have extra, so I'm gonna have to cut that down to size, and I want it to fit under here. And I do want it to be as tall as possible. So basically at this point, I get a pretty good idea of the overall height and what I'm trying to accomplish. And in order to cut this down, I have to make a mark about here. That's going to be the top of my tripod, which means I'm going to lash it down about here, and then these legs are all going to kick out. So overall, I think this is going to work out pretty well, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to get into it. So just based upon how these are sitting together, I'm not overly encouraged at how good this is going to come out, but at the same time, I kind of don't care too much. It just has to do its job. So this is going to be a permanently mounted tripod here. So basically I'm just going to wrap my cordage around these a number of times and then get this established. Let's see if I can get these to sit down just a little bit better here. But once I get this going, let's see how this is going to come out. Sweet. Got this in place pretty much where I want it, and I'm just going to leverage a couple of these extra pieces here that were cut off. Get it about that high, which will get my gear off the ground, and even if there's a little bit of snow that blows in, that'll be nice. So just leveraging this here to the best of my ability. We'll lash this up. All right, so my gear tripod now is established. Not completely done, but this is what I wanted to accomplish for today. And even at that, I am actually out of cordage, which is fine. I knew I didn't have a ton with me, but this does exactly what I need to. Basically what I'm going to do, I can get some additional, pieces of wood, lay them in there and make an actual sort of, the ability for me to actually lay things down a little bit like a table. I'm going to make a couple of things to allow me to hang some gear off of this. The other thing that's nice is I actually have a Bushcraft chair, so if I do it the right way, I can actually hang my Bushcraft chair off of this, which is really pretty cool. And the nice thing about this is well, it's pretty well out of the way. So tucked into the corner, gives me the ability when I roll into camp just to get my stuff established. That's going to be nice. So in progress, but that is going to work out very well. Taking a quick look here from the top, everything looks really good. I'm very happy with this. I mean, just a beautiful day out here. Check this out, super nice. Just really nice weather. A little bit on the cool side, but that's not a big deal. And what I came up here for was really to look at the quality of these eyelets here, these grommets. No problem, nothing really pulling out at all. I was a little bit concerned when I got this lashed up in the first place that these might accidentally pull out. You can see a couple of them that were just a little bit stressed. These were stressed when I put this up in the first place, but no problem. The range tarp holding up very nice. Bushcraft Wonderland, looking fantastic. So I think at this point that's enough for the build process today. Let's head down to the water and go enjoy this afternoon. It's crazy, the last time I was here, the water was super low. And now it is insanely high. I mean, this has to be literally about as high as it possibly could go. But yeah, this is jam-packed. I mean, I walked way out on like a sandbar, and it was pretty substantial. So, I mean, the water being this high, it's feet higher than it was, which I believe this is considered a reservoir, so they probably have the ability to fill it. But looking across, I do see a bit of a stain in an area where the water could probably be about 18 inches higher. In fact, if you look at these rocks here, you can see where they change color. There's a little bit of a reddish color to them. Yeah, you can see here, you know, that stain mark there. So the water does seem to come up a little bit more, but man, is it high. So that kind of limits my ability to make my way around here. I had leveraged the shoreline for a number of different reasons, so at this point, a little bit of bushwhacking, but this isn't too bad. Let's go do a little exploring. So yeah, usually I walk way down, all the way along the shoreline down there, but no go today. One of these days, I want to go out onto that little peninsula there. I think that'd be cool. Nice place to set up a hammock. Looks like a decent place actually to even do some fishing. Might be nice. It's awesome having this little cove here and super quiet. No one around. You can just listen. Literally silent out here, which is why I really like this place. Fantastic, what a nice spot. It'll definitely be interesting to see if this freezes over completely this winter. It would be nice to actually do a little ice skating out here. It'd be cool. Not that I really care to drag my skates a mile and a half out here, but that would certainly be fun. Do a little ice fishing, number of different things. That would be pretty cool. So with that, let's get back up to camp. Kind of looking at the shelter here, thinking long term, I really need to camouflage this better than it is. That range tarp definitely sticking out, whereas you look at it there, it's just so bright. The white on it doesn't work for me, but it is what it is for now. I just wish that was like a different color, just didn't have that white base. The white base on that tarp is what kills it in my opinion. But whatever. You know what time it is. Ew. Coffee time. So unfortunately my cutting board suffered just a nasty death. This is grody, just disgusting. It's got like pill bugs on it. If you look at that, just so gross. I don't know if this is like little mites all over it that died or just fungus and disgusting. It's bamboo, I thought, and I don't know, I guess I thought bamboo would have survived better out here, but that will come home. That is now trash. In fact, I think at this point I'm just going to bring all the rest of the gear that I had out here home, clean it up, tune it up, and then bring back some strategic things again. So, oh man, Bushcraft Wonderland. I do love this place. It is so nice being here. Ow, hot. But yeah, so good day. I mean, not a ton of work, but enough to stay busy, get back out here, just continue working on the shelter. Nice going over the water, checking it out. That was real nice. But yeah, Bushcraft Wonderland episode 10 pretty much coming to a conclusion. Granted, I didn't do a ton of work today, but just kind of getting back into it. And yeah, I made my little gear tripod, which was awesome. That was definitely nice. And enjoying myself some coffee now. A little bit of quiet time, a little bit of silence. Gonna relax, just listen. That's part of being out here too. So with that said, episode 10 is over. And so guys, if you like this content, do me a favor, check out my Outer Limitless 2 YouTube channel, which is more on the firearms and tactical side of things. At this point, it is growing fast. I have a ton of videos up there, so if you like Outer Limitless, do me a favor and check out Outer Limitless 2. So alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.